You are the presence of love. So when you love yourself, it's not about thinking positive thoughts, talking to yourself nice, being grateful. I mean, all these things help, yes, but it's about being present with yourself, as yourself. Being present as yourself. The presence of yourself is love. And it's like, everybody has their predeterminations of what love is and what it looks like. And doesn't matter how elaborate, how complex, or even how simple it is, like, you're just always going to be wrong. There is no definitive version of love, I'm sorry. There is no, it looks like this. Because it's all of it, even in appearance. Like, yeah, you have what looks like it, but then you have what doesn't look like it. And you can't let what it doesn't look like throw you off from the fact that it still is it. That's part of what we're here to learn and decipher and grow from. We're not growing into evil or growing into separation or duality. We're not growing into that. We're growing from that. Our journey is from duality, from separation, from the mix of judgment and labels and vibration. We're moving from that, going to source, to union, divine union with everything, one with everything, all that is. That's what it is. The oneness, the unity. We're growing towards that. What regardless of what it looks like. Doesn't matter what it looks like. So don't judge the appearances. The appearances, they appear. Trust and believe they appear. But that's all they are. Just appearances of experiences in life, ultimately of yourself. You are the experiencer, quote unquote, because you are the experience. The reason why you are having an experience is because you are the experience. You're experiencing yourself. All aspects of yourself, all of them. There's infinite aspects. You're experiencing all of them. Now, in this time space reality, you're experiencing a sliver of potential of what could be. And yes, that's not up to us. That's up to the divine forces at play. But we're still here to learn from them. There's always a learning. No matter how good you have it, you always have to learn. Because you could have it good and still squander it at the end of the day if you don't learn. So you have to learn. Life, this presence is a learning experience. Always learning, growing. So you learn. And when you learn, you grow. And it's like, yes, some lessons are harder than others. But the divine forces at play have made it for a reason. The harder the pressure, the greater the pressure, the stronger the material. You can't get highly dense material in this universe without high amounts of pressure and heat, fire. That's just the way it is. And it's easy to say these things when you don't go through them. I understand, but I also understand that in the ways that I am now, I've also been limited because I haven't had those harsh experiences. So it's like certain ways that I haven't been forced to grow that, might even be beneficial now, but who knows? We're all unique individual souls, so we all gotta have our own cup of tea. So, yeah, that's about it. You gotta learn to be present with what is. Be present with yourself as the witness of experience, as the knower of experience. You have to be comfortable with that self. As that self, you have to recognize yourself as that. It's like, wait a minute, all these thoughts going on in my head. And it's like, there's thoughts going on in your head, and there's you speaking in your head. There's your voice. Oh yes, my internal monologue. It's me talking. But I think that's what you have to, somebody has to realize at some point. One of us has to realize. Either you realize you are speaking your thoughts, or you're not speaking your thoughts. Like, it's either one of them. You have to realize. And then once you realize, okay, I am not speaking my thoughts, or I am speaking my thoughts, you realize your thoughts are not external from you. And I think that's what the problem is. That's what I used to think. I think that's what I used to think when I used to think about thinking, because it really seemed like my thoughts were outside forces. Yeah, I think I should touch up on that, because I feel like when you have anxiety and you're extra attentive to your thoughts, it's because you see them as external forces. No? Would you agree or disagree? Let me know. Do you see your thoughts as external forces? Because I definitely used to see my thoughts as external forces. I used to look at my thoughts and consider them to be other people talking to me, or like the minds of other people. Like, oh yeah, this is what so-and-so is thinking about me, or this is what such and such has to say, and oh, whosoever would do this and whosoever would say that. I remember that now that I reflect and now that I think about it. Yeah. So, thoughts are not external. Thoughts are not, they do not come from the external world. Thoughts, you don't download thoughts. No. You don't pick up thoughts. I mean, maybe some people do. Some people do have that, but then they always know. They know. They say, wait a minute. Yeah, this is something I'm picking up. This isn't me speaking. But then even the me speaking, that's not me speaking. That's just a thought that feels like me speaking. See, that's the kicker. That's what you really gotta to dwell on. It's like, wait a minute. It's not that, okay, yeah, I'm speaking, but it's that I feel like I'm speaking in my mind. Like, yeah, no, this is me. Yeah, this is me. But is it really? Like, you gotta dive into that. Put your electron microscope on, your magnifying glass, really get in there and examine. Why is it that I feel, now This is the progression of self-inquiry. We go from, okay, I feel like I'm thinking. I was like, who is thinking? I'm thinking. Why am I thinking? Oh, I'm thinking, why do I feel like I'm thinking? I guess it's, it's maybe, like you gotta think outside the box, but why do I feel like I'm thinking? And it's like, why do I feel like I'm thinking? It's like, okay, all right, or actually you get outside the box just by hearing, let's say okay, yeah, I'm thinking. And then you come across some knowledge that says, oh, you're not thinking. It's like, I'm not thinking? How am I not thinking? But it feels like I'm thinking. Okay, so then why does it feel like I'm thinking? Why does it feel like I'm thinking? Wait. Do I feel like I'm thinking? Wait a minute. How can I feel like I'm thinking if I'm the one thinking? But it feels like I think. So if it feels like I think, and then now all I'm watching is the feeling, now I'm separating myself from the feeling because I'm watching the feeling. You see? So if I'm watching the feeling, I'm over here. The feeling is over there. And I'm like, wait a minute. I see you. You're the one that feels like you're thinking. Not me, because I'm watching. You get it? You're thinking. You're the one that feels like you're thinking, not me. So now what is that feeling? What is that feeling? What is the one that feels like it's thinking? What is that? Not who. It can't be who now. Because I am. So what? What is that? What is that? What do you mean it's me? You missed it, man. You missed it. Try again. Maybe watch it again. Watch it maybe 2 or 3 more times. If not, carry on. It is what it is. Sauce is sauce, bro. If you don't like it, find another sauce. I'm sorry. But this is what it is, bro. This is what it is. The presence of self. The presence of self. And of course, we're just so deep in it, bro. Like it is what it is. Like there's nothing greater. Like all the stories, everything is about it. Everything is about it. Everything. Except it doesn't know that. It doesn't know that it's about itself. How could it be? What? You're talking about me? What? Bro, like, we're the most overlooked ones. This moment is the most overlooked moment. Everybody, what's gonna happen? What's gonna happen? What's gonna happen? And it's because, this moment is clouded in judgment, clouded in beliefs, clouded in thinking. I wonder why they chose thought clouds and thought bubbles to represent thinking. Maybe because clouds obscure light. They obscure knowledge. They obscure reality. Thinking is the plague of humanity. Everybody's obsessed with thinking. This is a thinking time period. And honestly, there's nothing wrong with thinking. There's absolutely nothing wrong with thinking. But the problem is no one knows how to think. That's the problem. Maybe it'll be one thing if, we're thinking and actually, balancing our ration and logic with our emotion, but we're not. or letting either or run rampant. Either the emotions are running high and there's no rationality, or it's all rational and there's no emotion and it's just robots. Like, why do we always have to be bouncing between the extremes? Like, why can't we just have a nice little balance? It's pretty simple. Hard to do? I'm not sure, but it's definitely simple. Most definitely. Alright. I think I'm done. Peace be with you. Love always. Catch you next time.